Aunt Bertha used to babysit Laura and Michael, my younger siblings, when they were kids. I was already a teen by then. Yes, technically she was our occasional babysitter, always hanging around our house for her side hustle. If you've read about my dad's deathbed confession, you already know who I'm talking about, that Aunt freaking Bertha. Anyway, that's not really the point right now. This particular story takes place when I was about to start high school. Around that time, the most gorgeous, hot guy I'd ever seen moved into our neighborhood, Mrs. Grayson's grandson. And OMG, Mrs. Grayson was just the cutest, sweetest little old lady, like a grandma straight out of a fairy tale. I had my own little side hustle on weekends, keeping Mrs. Grayson company every Saturday. It was during one of those visits that I learned about Nate. He was staying with her while working on some big research project for his college degree, something about hazardous waste management. Everything about him fascinated me. Well, his passion for science, his intelligence, and yeah, those arms. I start finding ways to accidentally bump into him. Totally casual, of course. Soon, Nate began showing up at my house, sometimes with ridiculous excuses like borrowing a screwdriver. Every time we ran into each other, it felt like I won a little mini victory. Then came that Tuesday. I remember it so clearly. I came home from school, went to my room, and there they were, Nate and Bertha, in my bed. I felt so disgusted, like I bolted straight to the bathroom, ready to puke. Pause here and give some context about Bertha. She was older than Nate, sure, but she was one of those women who seemed to defy aging. Plenty of women envied her for how hot she was. Me? I didn't hit the genetic as she did. But in fairness, she wasn't really or technically my blood relative, just my mom's half-sister. I never told my parents what I saw. Honestly, if I had, that would have meant Nate wouldn't come around anymore. And yeah, it was super painful, but there was this messed up part of me that still wanted him there, even if he was totally out of my league. 5 days later, the unthinkable happened. Nate died in a lab accident. Something with mercury spill or another chemical incident. IDK much about the details, IDK anything about science or chemistry. But the tragedy didn't stop there. Mrs. Grayson, my sweet Mrs. Grayson, passed away the same day she got the devastating news. And Bertha? She completely lost it. Oh, I get it, losing a boyfriend is rough, I know, but seriously? They'd only been together for, a couple of weeks? After that, Bertha started acting all weird. Even she walked around our house in skimpy clothes, which totally drove my mom crazy. My dad, on the other hand, became her defender, her protector. Once my dad was gone and, supposedly passed away, Aunt Bertha stopped coming around as often. My siblings grew up, and with time, those memories started to fade into the background.